This is Revolution Talk. My name is Zeta Ceti. We are here at MJUnpacked live in Las Vegas. I'm here with Mama Clark from Justice Tree. How are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
You having a good time here?
I'm having a great time. It's awesome to get to meet all the different companies, all the different brands, all the different investors. It's really a great opportunity.
That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about Justice Tree. What are you guys doing over there?
So Justice Tree is a cannabis brand that I created to commemorate the life and legacy of my son, Stephon Clark. Stephon Clark was killed by the Sacramento Police Department while holding a cell phone in his grandmother's backyard in 2018. Since then, my family's mobilized to get justice not only for Stephon, but for other families. We've started the I Am SAC Foundation, which bridges the gap between law enforcement agencies and underserved, underrepresented communities. Now, what Justice Tree does is it bridges the gap between social equity and social justice. The funds from Justice Tree go directly to fund the foundation, which fights for justice.
Oh,
so
awesome.
that's who we are.
Wow, that's so neat. Because my company was based out of Oakland, California, where the first social equity program was launched. We helped support that. We provide the platform for these types of conversations. So this is amazing work that you are doing right now with Justice Tree.
Thank you.
And it's needed all across the country. It's very, very important. It's just terrible that we even had to get this far. Should have already been there. Right? But unfortunately, being pre-programmed by the drug war, all of us have. This is where we're at, and so that work is so important. What you're doing, I really respect you for doing that. There's a lot of great organizations around here that are doing that too as well. So kind of, is it like programs or like plans that you're doing with both these two? Like, just tell me a little bit.
Okay,
just unpack it for me.
The foundation, we bridge the gap between law enforcement and underserved communities. We inform and educate those communities on policy and legislation change. So right now in California, we have the Stephon Clark Law, AB 392, which holds police accountable for using unnecessary violence or force on civilians. Underneath that law right now, one officer is actually incarcerated, serving time, convicted, and two are on trial. So informing and educating on policy and legislative change is one of the programs that we do. We have healing circles for mothers and siblings and families who have been impacted by police violence. Now with social equity, we're looking for reparations. So we're teaching other families how to take their pain and turn it into a purpose. So the tree on Justice Tree, each leaf represents a family that has been impacted by police violence, and they're able to create generational wealth and get reparations from the social equity programs while commemorating the life and legacy of their lost one. So that's how we do it.
So thank you for clarifying that, because there are two very important distinctions here.
They are.
Right? And so you got a law passed in California?
Yes, we did. I stood right next to Governor Newsom while he signed that into law. It was written by Dr. Shirley Weber, who is now our Secretary of State in California.
Amazing.
So yes.
Amazing. That's incredible. And I think everybody really needs to take this into account. There's other folks out there in other states who have suffered.
And that's the point.
That's
the point of Justice Tree, to make sure that all of the families, there are so many families who have suffered who don't get law settlements or who don't get the justice that they desire or deserve. And so we're here to help them find their voice.
Yes.
To get reparations and to get justice.
Okay, so let's move over to the other side where it's like reparations or just access. Let's just say it's access to these opportunities, because a lot of folks that have been locked out for any reason, being incarcerated, formerly incarcerated, however you want to look at it. Does your program offer like training for support?
Right now we're just gathering the Justice Tree. Right now is just offering product. So we're offering the pre-rolls for the families. We have Stephon. We have the Stephon Clark, which is called Zoblos. We have two more coming out called Gabrielicious, which is for Gabriela Navarez, who was killed, and we have another one coming out, Jade Green, which is for Soraya Jade, who was killed in California. So we're teaching the families how to create their own product. To commemorate the life and legacy of their loved one.
Awesome.
So that's what we do.
Okay, but it's currently right now just focused on pre-rolls, so you're just really trying to specialize in that area.
So right now we're just specializing in pre-rolls, because pre-rolls, everyone wants a good pre-roll. It's easy. It's easy to market. We had a lot of success our first year with them. Eventually we want to spread out to topicals. We want to spread out to edibles and things like that. We just haven't opened it into the market yet.
And I'm just like envisioning this package where it not only it helps the person who suffered the loss, be able to like continue on that legacy of their child, right? Or that loss, and then really like almost in a way where people, because cannabis is something that where people like connect.
It's a community. It's a community, right?
So they connect on that. So that's a very fascinating thing to look at, because it helps continue that legacy of that loss, right? And that's really awesome. So is there any branding stuff on there? How's that work? Tell me a little bit.
Let me show you my shirt. It says "Light Up for the Cause."
Okay.
So that's what we encourage people to do. And then our tree is our justice tree. So you see each leaf represents a family, like I said, but they're marijuana leaves.
Yeah.
And you have the social justice, power fist.
Power fist. That's awesome.
So yeah, everyone can be a part of the movement and not just the moment. This is a worldwide epidemic that we're going through with the war on drugs as well as with the police, violence.
Yeah.
And so, it's how we bridge the gap.
Law enforcement, look, at the end of the day, like they also are experiencing a lot of challenges just going through this process, because their academy trained them and programmed the way they're dogs. It's really a crazy thing. But at the end of the day, it's like we have to do this together, and education is how we do it.
Education, information, and education, and that's why we want to bridge the gap. We're not anti-law enforcement. We're anti-violent.
Yes.
Unnecessary law enforcement, we know that the dialogue has to be created.
It does,
and that's what we're here to do. We're here to create the dialogue, the necessary dialogue, so that we can create the change that we want to be.
So is it just California you guys are in right now, or
just for now?
Okay. So do you guys plan on setting up chapters?
Yes,
tell me about the future of Justice Tree.
The future of Justice Tree is to have one in every legal state, to have a Yayo's Place or a house of justice in every state where families can go when they unfortunately have that call or have that crisis. We want to be able to encourage them to move forward through the pain. Through their mourning, we want to encourage them to heal, but we want to encourage them to be successful and to make sure that the legacy of their lost one stays alive.
Right.
And what other way to do it? Through the community, the loving community of cannabis. Cannabis is a loving community. It's accepting of all. There's no race or gender biases. It's just everyone wants to be free and happy. It's a hippie movement.
So that's interesting. It's really, I'm thinking about so what about, let's just say, a mother that also experienced the loss, but is like also programmed against cannabis, like mentally programmed against cannabis. Like, have you ever ran into that before?
I'm against cannabis. Well, I don't smoke.
Okay.
I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I created this to commemorate Stefan smoked. My son smoked.
Yeah.
So I don't do cannabis.
Okay.
So there, but there's also ways that we can in the cannabis industry. There's THC. There's CBD products.
Yeah. Totally.
There's topical agents. There's feel good massage oils.
Yes.
There's all different types of ways that you can get into this industry and still commemorate life and legacy.
Was that breaking that stigma? Because I think, since all of us lived under the same roof when it comes to federal policy, right? I could see how some mothers or even fathers or family members, they are against cannabis, so approaching them saying, here's a way you can continue on that legacy, especially when they're going through that much pain. I'm just wondering if you ever experienced that. I'm sure you personally experienced that, but I'm just saying, I wondered, like, with your programs, how have you adjusted the program to adjust to those kind of parameters?
Each case is individual.
Understood.
Each mother, each family is different. No one's ever going to be the same. And so we, the mothers, we call ourselves yayos, okay? So yayos are mothers who experience the loss of a child.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing, is just to embrace them. Just to let them know that I feel you. I feel your pain. And once a person feels understood, then they can open up to other things. You know what I mean? So it's all about healing first. Information and education comes after the healing. Healing is first. And so I've had mothers where we've introduced massage oils, the CBD or the THC massage oils, and people have been just giving them free massages. Right. Because they're in pain. You know what I'm saying? They need to heal physically, emotionally, mentally. So it's all different type of ways. It's a case by case.
Yeah, it is always a case by case scenario. Each scenario is very, very different from each other. Each person experiences it differently and processes it differently. So it's always going to be a very dynamic situation. Have you considered, maybe partnering with other therapists on your team at all?
Therapists are on our team.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Therapists are on our team. We have group therapy. We have individual therapy programs for the mothers, and we've just developed a new program called Siblings Overcoming Sadness.
Oh, okay.
Because the siblings are like the unheard voice,
yes.
Of the lost ones, and so right now we're focused. Right now, the programs that we have focused is directly on the mothers.
Okay.
And then we have the Stephon Clark Sunday, which focuses on actionable items, on getting justice or getting accountability. So we're doing a lot.
See, I would think it'd be like therapists. We got lawyers. We have
to have it all. Our lawyer Ben Crump. We call him the Black Attorney General.
The Black Attorney General of California? That's great.
No, of the United States, so I'm teamed up with him, of course, with Reverend Al Sharpton, National Action Network.
Yeah.
We have a National Action Network chapter in Sacramento in California that started because of our family. So we're definitely a resource. We're definitely a hub where a family, if there has been impact, if they don't know what to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, they come to us. We get the phone calls in the middle of the night. Right before I came to this conference, the night before, I got a phone call at midnight and was there for 12 hours with the family. So we're definitely the go-to in our community, in our city. But yeah, that's how we start out. Which is resources. We teach them how to get justice, how to get an attorney, how to get healing, how to get resources, whatever they may need.
I almost see it like, almost like in a box, you have all these different resources, like you said. Access is very, very important, but quality access and vetted access, because people, like, again, what we're seeing in the space right now is a lot of predatory things regarding how they're rolling these processes out, how states are rolling these processes out. It's terrible. So having that protection, almost shield for these folks is super critical, especially if they're going through what you said, like a loss, or even being formally incarcerated and coming out into the world now. It's really interesting to see this, but it's very important that this protection is here.
Right. So I would definitely encourage people to go to our website for the foundation. It's iamsacevents.org.
Okay.
And then the Justice Tree, of course, is justicetree.us.
Yeah, okay.
So just come and check us out, see what we do, become a part of the movement.
Awesome.
You can become a member of the foundation.
100%, yeah.
And then you can find out what a byproduct.
Awesome. Mama Clark, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Revolution Talk here with Mama Clark at justicetree.us.
Light up for the cause.
All right.